Hey guys, so in the last video, we talked about Leonorn. So this time, we're gonna talk about Trial Deck Zero Two, which is Michiru's Trial Deck and Drajul. So let's go into it. Alright, so in the previous video, I already explained a lot about the bonus content, so I'm just gonna quickly go over it again. They give you these nice fighters coins that you can use. The trial deck, the box that you buy it in is a deck box that you can use. You get these nice sleeves. Unfortunately, these ones will not be included in English. And then you get this really nice playmat. It's on the front cover. It has all the rules on it and stuff. So that's a simple paper playmat, but you have this really nice looking art of Michiru and Drajul on the back. The paper playmat, which you can use, as well when you're already used to the game. So that's about it. You got a PR pack as well that explains the rules of the game and stuff. And they're here. I'll talk about which cards were in the PR pack, which ones trial deck later on, because I have swapped them out. As you can see, sleeves. I've sleeved them already as well. So, and when you purchase the trial deck in English, you will get this automatically. It'll be included in the trial deck. This Sentinel Grade 1, which is really good. It's a Sentinel, so you can only play one copy of this as well in the deck. So you're gonna have to swap one PG out, but it's gonna be worth it because if your opponent's Vanguard has triple drive, it originally has triple drive, not that it gains triple drive. That is an important difference. So if your opponent, for example, is on grade 4 Nirvana, or if you're playing Premium the Stride, then you can use this without paying the cost, which is like a normal, which is basically normal PG. But it does have the added thing that if your Vanguard is grade 3 or lower. So if you're on grade 4, you can't really use this. But if you're playing with the trial decks, you don't have a grade 4 to play. Yeah, so discard one card to play, right? Normal PG, but you don't have to activate the cost. Of course, if your opponent is on a grade 4, something that. And then choose one of your units can't be hit until end that battle, and then remove this card from play. That's another difference. Instead of going to the drop zone, it's removed from play. So now let's get to the actual deck itself. We'll start with the right line, and then I'll get to the, of course, contents of the deck, and then just like in the previous video, I'll explain how to play it since Red Jewel's a little bit more complicated. Probably one of the, I think the most complicated, out of all the three trial decks. The grade 0 starter does what every starter does. When you ride over it, if you're going second, draw 1, the grade 1. So when this unit is ridden over Jewel Neil, which is the grade 2, then you can call this the R. Similar to the Leonorn grade, to the grade 1 that was in the Leonorn right line. And then when this unit's attack, this is a rear guard skill. So when when an attack that this unit boosted, when this never mind. Sorry, when this unit attacks or when this unit boosts, for that battle, this unit gets power plus 5k, and then at the end of the battle, put it in soul, and it's forced. So if you automatically, when you boost or attack with it, you have to put it to soul. And then the grade 2, so when it has a van and rear guard skill already, so when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, then you can soul charge 1, and then it has another auto skill. So when this unit is ridden over by a card with Drajul in its name, soul charge 1, and then if your soul has 3 or more cards with different grades, then draw 1 card. So that's pretty good. So you get the draw, and then you have finally the boss card. So its top skill is when it's ridden by ridden by the pack Drajul. I think it was cursed Curse Jewel, Drajul, something like that. Sorry, forgot the name. But yeah, when you ride that over this, it can be treated as a great persona ride. Sorry, and that's pretty good since all of the grade 3 trial decks also all the grade 3 trial decks, by the way, the trial deck grade 3s have this skill. So you can play one copy of this in the right line and play four copies of the pack uh, pack pack grade 3 in the main deck, and you'll have four persona rides essentially. Okay, let's get to the main skill. So when this unit attacks a Vanguard, Soul Blast 4 cards with different grades, each with different grades, and choose one of your opponent's Vanguards. For that turn, it reduce its power. Sorry, reduce or increase its power to grade to 1. And then if your Vanguard is your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or higher, this unit gets crit plus 1. So just to also clarify, at that point when the skill activates, your opponent's Vanguard will be at power 1. Afterwards, it can increase or decrease again. So if your opponent checks a trigger, for example, they can still give it to their Vandal power up. Then it also has a rear guard skill. So when this unit is if for this turn you paid Soul Blast 4 or more for the cost of one of your skills, then this unit gets power plus 5k. So that's how Grid Jewel plays. I'm sure you got an idea in your head about why it's complicated now, since you're gonna need constantly you're gonna need to Soul Blast 4 cards with different grades. But the deck has plenty of ways to filter your soul, so that's why it's really good. Now let's get into some of the cards here. I do want to mention, just like before, that the grade 1 and grade 2 are at 1 copy here in the trial deck, but you don't really need more than 1 anyway. So of course three copies of Drajul, and then you have this other card that I believe was in the PR pack, I think, or not in the PR pack actually, never mind. This one was just included in the trial deck itself. So when this unit attacks, if you have Vanguard with Drajul in its card name, then so counter blast 1 for that battle. This unit gets power plus 10k, and then at the end of the battle, you can put this unit to your soul. Pretty good, since you can use it to help, put a card with different grade into your soul. So this card was in the PR pack, meaning that there were only 2 cards. So the PR pack, except for the ride line, the PR pack contains only 2 copies of the other upgrade cards. So you're gonna have to purchase either another trial deck, or you're gonna have to buy them separately to get 2 more copies. This card is really good, which is why I got 2 more copies. When this unit is placed on R from your hands, Karn Blast 1, and then look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose one, put it into your soul, shuffle your deck, and then if your soul has 4 or more cards with different grades in it, draw one. Again, the draw, really nice, really good. Helps you also to filter soul, like I said. Keep in mind, put into soul is not the same as soul charge. So if you play Brain Swirler, for example, and you use this, it doesn't get the power up because it's not soul charge. Then this card was, I think, included in the trial deck, but I swapped out 2 copies of it already. So you get this at 4 actually. When this card is discarded during your ride phase, from your hand, put this card into your soul. Again, really good because you can use this to filter your soul, and you can use it to pay for the cost of the of riding from the ride deck without really losing anything. Then you get this card as well at 4 copies. When you in the PR, this one was in the PR pack, I believe, at 2 of course as well, and I bought an additional 2. So in the PR pack, you do get 1 card randomly at hollow, and I got this card. Would have liked one of the ride line cards, but oh well. So when this unit's placed on R, if you have Gradual Vanguard, then Soul Blast one from your drop zone. Choose one card, put it into your soul, and then this kind of unit gets power plus 2k till end of turn. 10k booster helps you to filter soul again with the Soul Blast. You can just Soul Blast a card that with a grade you don't need if you already have it in your soul. So again, filter soul, very nice. You can swap it out with something else. This card was also in the PR pack, so it was at 2, but it's pretty good. And I do recommend that you pick up 2 additional copies of this card as well. When this unit is placed on R, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose one, put it into your soul, put the rest at the bottom of the deck. No cost or anything, it's just really good. Yeah, it is top 2, but again helps you to filter soul. Then this grade 1, which is also pretty good. You get 4 copies of this in the trial deck. Was not in the PR pack, but you are going to. But you know, I think 2 is good enough for this. 3 maybe at most, but 2 is good. So when this unit boosts a grade 2 or higher unit, then soul charge 1. You may soul charge 1. You don't have to, but you may. So that's also pretty good. Just free soul charge just by boosting. And this grade 1. That I believe you only got at 3 copies. It was in the trial deck. So when this unit, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or higher, Counter Blast 2 to draw 1. So it's similar to that previous one we saw in Leonorn. There was also a card like that. If you're, it's once per turn right away. Both cards. CB2 to draw 1. You're probably gonna swap it out, but pretty good. I also just like the art actually. It really looks like a Pale Moon card. Then the PGs that were reprinted. You got these in the this is the standard PG that you got in the start deck. You're gonna want to swap it out for the pack PGs. Of course, that at 4 copies. Now we're gonna get into the triggers, and I believe I did not change anything in the trigger lineup. So 4 crit, 4 draw. You get 4 draw actually as well. But I played 3 here, swapped one out for the over trigger. 4 front, and then of course 4 heal. So yeah, 4 copies of each trigger, except for the over trigger, of course. So the good thing is that the over trigger is actually the PR pack to upgrade your trial deck basically, and that means that you can choose now instead of just getting a 1 less trigger out of all of them. You get to choose which one you want to swap out now. So that's pretty good. So I chose to swap out the draw for the over trigger. That's basically it for the contents of the deck. So I'm gonna go over some of the cards. I'm gonna go over how to explain how to play the deck essentially. Oh, I almost forgot about these. Mention it real quick. The right line explains the rules. Vanilla, which I swapped out. Of course, you got this at 4 copies. It explains what intercept does. This is grade 1 as well. My bad. This was not in the PR pack. Cards that were, you see cards here with the rules written on them, they are just in the trial deck and not in the PR pack. The PR pack does contain the cards with the skills, but it doesn't change what I meant. You do, when you in the PR pack, you do get 1 copy at random at hollow. So it just turned out to be this card. It was not in, so you do get this at 4, sorry. 1 draw that I had swapped out, of course. The 2 other grade 1s I had swapped out, and the 2 other grade 2s that I had swapped out. So I'm sure you can picture what the trial deck is gonna look like when you pick it up. So let's quickly explain how to play Gradual. You have Gradual here is your Vanguard. Then let's say you have the grade 2 and the grade 1 in your soul. Then let's say that the grade 0 was in your soul as well. Now that's 3 different cards with you have 3 cards with different grades in your soul, and the only one we're missing now is a grade 3, so we're gonna take Another grade 3. Yeah, sure, we can take Dredgewald, why not? Put that into Soul as well. So now you can attack with Van first if you want. That is one option. You can attack with one of your years first, but I do recommend attacking with Vanguard first. So you attack with Vanguard, Soul Blast, 4 cards with different grades. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4. Grade 0 to 1, 3. Soul Blast. Now your opponent's Vanguard will be at 1. And afterwards, if their Vanguard grade 3 or higher, they'll Gradual also gets crit plus 1. Really nice. So you can also rush with this deck and attack like that with your remaining cards. If they don't check a trigger, that's really good, because it means you their opponents their Vanguard's gonna be at 1. So you're going to want to use certain cards like this, for example, to help you filter your soul back. So let's put that here. All right, and we're also gonna, let's say this card was in your hand, gonna keep that, and then we're going to grab this card as well. Hold on, here we go, this card. Sure, we'll get this as well to explain. So essentially what you're gonna want to do is let's say you do this. This is in your soul again, so you still have 4 different cards in your soul. And then you attack with, oh sorry, hold on, there's also one other card that I think I should let's see, where is it? Here we go. Yeah, we can use this as well. So I'll sort of explain to you how you can help filter your soul. Let's say in the previous turn, you haven't used the skill yet. Let's say your opponent's Vanguard's not grade 3 or higher yet, they're still grade 2. So you don't get the extra crit, so you think you're okay. It's fine to not use it, but you call this anyway to rush. Right, then you use its skill CB1, 10k, has 10k, then let's say we call this booster. So you go boost, attack, skill like soul charge 1, and then skill, because you use its skill, it'll go into soul. So now you do have a few more cards in your soul, but you do have some cards that you don't need. It's always good, by the way, to pile up soul, so you just have more cards to work with. But essentially, I'm explaining how to filter the deck. So next turn comes around, right, stand. So you call this counter blast 1, and then you look at the top 3 cards. So let's say the top 3 cards were this, and this. Maybe choose one, choose one to put into your soul. Let's say I choose this grade 1. Everything else goes back into the deck. You shuffle. So now with its skill, you do have cards with 4 or more grades in them, because you have a grade 1, you have a grade 2, grade 0, and then a grade 3 as well. So you get to draw one. Great. So now let's say that you are missing a certain piece. Let's say you're missing grade 0, for example, here. So that's just one way again that you can stack soul, right? So let's say you're missing one piece, a grade 0. Now you can call this card and use its skill, Soul Blast 1. Let's see, we have too many grade 3s, right? We also have an extra grade 1, we don't need them. So will drop this, for example, from soul, and then use its skill to pick one soul from one card from our soul, that grade 0 that we needed, and put it into the soul. So now we can use their Jeweled skill. And we can also use this, put this on R, and then look at top 2, choose one, put into soul, and put the rest bottom of the deck. So as you can see, there are many ways to stack your soul, like with this grade 1 attack, soul charge 1. And there are a bunch of ways to use cards like this to help filter and, you know, swap out cards that you don't need. And that's essentially how you play this deck. That's why you have to be pretty smart about it, because you might mess up. You might have one card that you don't, you might be missing one card, for example, with a different grade and all that, and you want to be careful about that. I hope this sort of explains how to play it, kind of, and that you somewhat understand. But if you're still really confused about it, I can show you by actually actually shuffling the deck and playing again. But this video is already pretty long enough, so I'm gonna leave that later on in case you do anyone does wanna more of an in-depth explanation. Please leave so in the comments, and I'll do it for Graduate, since it is kind of a complicated deck. You have to be careful with it. But essentially that's it for Graduate. You might be wondering about upgrade options. Unfortunately, in set 6 there are no upgrade options. There are some, but they're not really that great. There are a few cards, but not really. For Graduate, I think there's only one card essentially. But yeah, so you're gonna have to wait till set 7 for the packed Graduate, and for more of the upgrade options. The one that I do recommend right now for the upgrade is getting the pack PGs. You can use the old ones, or you can use the ones that were reprinted in set 6, which have a different art. You can of course, put in this card as well. And then I would recommend maybe when set 7 comes out, you definitely want to pick up this certain grade 2 that they have revealed the skill already. So what it does is when you soul blast 4 or more for one of your cards costs this turn, you can restand it. Essentially that's what it does, and it's a grade 2, so it's a really good card in combination with Gradual. When set 7 comes, you're gonna want to pick it up. Maybe I'll make a video later for set 7 for explaining some Gradual upgrades. But for now, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, where we're gonna cover the last trial deck, which is Youth Berk, so Raika's cards.